All right, this video is on using, or 2.1, using transformations to graph quadratics. So right now you're seeing a picture of like the online textbook. And I have a feeling when we start looking at these transformations of quadratics, we've already done this, but only we looked at the graph and then we did transformations. We didn't care whether it was a quadratic, we didn't care whether it was a line, we didn't care if it was a circle, we didn't really care what the shape was. So we've looked at something similar, and I want to make sure you understand how to use the graphing calculator to really help you with this section. First of all, let's look at like the first bit of this. It says graph each function used in a table. So let me go to my piece of paper and I'm going to show you how to do a basic one using a table. So let's look at my first example here. I don't care if I have f of x, which is just function notation, which you can't see. Okay, or if I use y, remember those are the same thing, function notation or y. What if I have 2x squared minus 3x plus 4? And I want to graph this. My directions say to graph. So one way is to make a chart. So I'm going to use an XY chart, but I'm actually going to leave space in the middle to show you my work. So I call it an H chart, whatever you want to call it. The middle is going to have the 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. So when you invent an x and you put it in here, you do your work and you find your y. Okay, remember y is the same thing as f of x. So let's make up a number, 0. Love 0, because 0 actually finds your y-intercept, where you cross your y-axis. So when I put in 0, not only is it easier, it also finds my y-intercepts. When x is 0, that's your y-intercepts. So then I have to find 2 times 0 squared minus 3 times 0 plus 4. All right, well, 2 times 0 squared, 0 squared, 0. Got to do your exponent first. 0 times 2 is 0, minus 3 times 0 or 0, plus 4. So 0 minus 0 plus 4 is going to get you 4. So basically it cancels out the first two terms and you're left with 4. So there's one point on our graph, the point 0, 4. And we're going to need quite a few more in order to be able to see the graph. So let's try 1. So we would have 2 times 1 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 4. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. So in this one I'll have 2 minus 3 plus 4, or 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. All right, let's keep working our way down. You might lose being able to see the top here. Let's try negative 1. So I'd have 2 times negative 1 squared. I put a parenthesis around it because the whole entire negative 1 has to be squared. Minus 3 times negative 1 plus 4. So negative 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3 plus 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. Let's graph what we have so far. Not enough, but it'll help us see where what other numbers we should put in. So I'm going to draw a line here, x, y. You're going to love when I show you this on the graphing calculator in a second. Let me scroll this up so you see a little bit bigger picture. Okay, so here's our x, right? Here's our y. So our first point we found at 0, 4. 0, 4, and then we found 1, 3. And then we found negative 1 is at 9. 4, there's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 9. So here we can kind of see the start of our U shape, right? But we need more information here. The reason why I wanted to stop and draw it at 3 points is we have to see like where we're at. We can only see part of the U, so I got to find the other part. So maybe we should try putting in 2, 3, or 4, something like that. So let's try 2 next. And then I didn't leave myself room, but that's all right. We'll just put it here. So if I put in a 2, I would get 2 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 4. I have to start seeing where it goes back up, right? That's what I'm looking for. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6, so I have minus 6 plus 4. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Hopefully I got that right. So at 2, we're back up at 6. Let me double check that. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 6 plus 4. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 plus 4. Okay, so 2, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here would be our shape. We can see where it now, oops, I didn't do very good. We can see now kind of where, our shape is when I graph the 2, 6, because I got both sides. I didn't do very good at drawing that, but you get the idea. I will have to keep putting in points until I see both sides of my U in my full shape. This can be very time consuming. That's why I'm making this video. I'm going to show you the graphing calculator in the online textbook. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to Tools, and I'm going to go to Graphing Calculator, and here's what it looks like. So I'm going to put in the one I just made you do. So 2x, here's our squared, minus 3x plus 4. Notice it says y equals already. You have to have it in the form y equals, and we don't add that in. Graph. Ta-da! Doesn't that look similar to the graph we just did? You can also see points over here. You can see our point 0, 4. You can see our point 1, 3. You can see our point 2, 6. You can see our point negative 1, 9. So it kind of shows you everything, and you're probably like, well, why did I do it by hand? You have to understand that anytime you're asked to graph, making a chart works. That's the one way that always works for any graph. Graphing calculators are great, but they have to be in specific form y equals. That's hard to do. Or f of x, or function notation. So I'm going to kind of move this to the side, and I'm going to look at your homework here to the left. So these ones on your first part of your homework are just graph the function. The second part of your homework here says use the graph to describe the transformations. All right, so you have to describe what is this doing here. So the best way to do that is to graph them in the graphing calculator. First of all, you have to start with the basic x squared. This is our general parent shape. And the second one, you want to put in your formula. So the first problem 5 they have is x minus 5. X minus 4 squared. And we're going to graph that. That one should come in green. See, red, green. Now what did that 4 do to my shape? Right, it moved it to the right 4. It's a slide or translation. It moved you to the right 4. And so you're going to graph all of these, and you can use the graphing calculator, and you can either sketch the graph by hand for each one for me, or you can use print screen here. Like I could go print screen. I just told it to print it. I could then open a Microsoft Word, and I can push paste, and here's the print screen of that, and then you could explain it in words for each problem. Okay, I wouldn't want the book here. I would just want this picture, so you could crop it using paint like this. So paste. I only want this pretty picture here, so I'm going to push select and just add in this, crop, save that picture, or I can right click it. Oops, it won't let me select it. I thought it would let me select it once I'm there and copy it. Nope. Okay, anyway, you can go to save as, save this picture as, so I don't know, problem 1 or something like that. Maybe because this is 2.1 problem 1 something, save it in there. And anyway, you go to Word, and maybe I just want to type in this. Let's say this was problem 1. I don't remember what problem number you'd say. The transformation was a or moved, I don't know how to say that, moved to the right 4. And notice it was a minus, and you move to the right 4 in that parenthesis. And then I'm going to take that off. I'm going to insert my picture that I just insert that picture. Oh goodness, I have a million pictures in here. What did I call that one? 2.1. Here it is. Insert. Ta-da. So you have to include what you did, but you can do it in the calculator. But you know, this would be a great way to graph it, or you can do it by hand if you want practice doing it by hand. If you are not good at graphing, I mean, you don't understand how to put numbers in, get numbers out, this is a skill you have to have. We graph this entire course. Then you might want to do them all by hand, just to practice over and over and over, because you have to graph x squared, the general one, in order to understand what your moves are. So anyway, that's one way to complete section 2.1. And you don't have a whole lot of problems to do in this, so it wouldn't take you too long to do it all in Word. All right.